We are asked that in the following triangle, ABC, where AB is equal to square root of 6, AC is equal to 10, and the cosine of A is equal to 1 over 5, can we find the area of the triangle? So how do we get the formula for the area of a triangle? Well, if we take a triangle and we double it, you can see that we end up with a parallelogram. Next, what you can do is take one corner of that parallelogram, shift it over to the other side, and you can see that we end up with a rectangle, where the area is the base times the height. And this height is the perpendicular height of the original triangle. Therefore, the area of a triangle is half the area of a rectangle, half the base times the height. Now, if we're not given that height, instead we're given an angle and the side of the triangle, what we want to do is isolate that right angle triangle and use trigonometry to find the perpendicular height, or the opposite. Now, from trigonometry, you know that the sine of the angle is the opposite over the hypotenuse. Therefore, the opposite, so this perpendicular height, is the hypotenuse times the sine of the angle. Next, we can take our general formula for the area of a triangle, and we can replace the height with what we've just calculated, the opposite. And we can substitute that in and end up with half the base times the hypotenuse times the sine of the angle, which is commonly rewritten as half AB times sine C. Now, the other thing you need to know for this question is how to convert between sine and cosine. And to do this, we use the Pythagorean identity, which is sine squared of our angle plus cos squared of our angle is equal to 1. This comes from simply substituting the opposite over the hypotenuse for sine, the adjacent over the hypotenuse for cosine, then multiplying across by the hypotenuse squared. You can see that we have the opposite squared plus the adjacent squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared, which is just the Pythagorean theorem. Going back to the question, given the triangle with the following information, how do we calculate for the area? So we start off with the area formula that we just derived, that the area is equal to half times A times B times the sine of C. Obviously, this is looking for sine C, but we are given cosine C. So we use the Pythagorean identity that we just also derived, that the sine squared of C plus the cosine squared of C is equal to 1. We rearrange a little bit because we're looking for the sine of C. We substitute in the values we have for the cosine, and we end up with 1 minus 1 over 25 for the sine squared of C. Simplify it a little bit, that's equal to 24 over 25, and then take the square root of both sides so that you end up with the sine squared of C is equal to the square root of 24 all over 5. Now we can substitute in all the information we have into the area formula. We end up with that the area is equal to half times the square root of 6 times 10 times the square root of 24 all over 5. Solving a little bit, you can start to simplify that half times 10 is equal to 5. 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1, so it cancels out. We have the square root of 6 times the square root of 24. The square root of 24 can be simplified to the square root of 6 times the square root of 4. So we have root 6 times 4, which is equal to just 6 times 2. And therefore we end up with the area is equal to 12 centimeters squared. This is the question answered, but please remember to include your units in this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this tutorial made things clearer and helped you tackle this question. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay updated when more questions are answered. If you have any questions or need any more help, please drop a comment below and I will get back to you. Until next time, keep practicing and good luck.